Transferring reality and creating values is what I do for a lifetime. Supporting others to achieve their life, supporting others to achieve their life, appraise, appraise, a, a, aspirations, aspiration. I elevate the rim of life, transferring, transferring ec- inner, inner condition, transferring inner condition and wisdom, capacity. I stand above emerging issues, issues, issues. Appreciation, 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 a feeling, a feeling, acceptance, acceptance, at nature, atrazzi, at car. I protect myself and those around around me, perfecting in noble personality, excelling in virtues, surpassing others in mature maturity. I conquer every dream, having the right mindset, correct inner stage, and suitable abilities. I simple I, s- I simply achieve success, understanding the laws and principles tha- thoroughly, thoroughly holding the key theme, could be, eh, famine, the key famine. I take control of my life, adhering to principles, following formulas and methods. My life become become simpler, become simpler, happier, just in, just, just, justing and light, knowing, believing, comprehending the triangle of reality, human structure, and the root formula. I take just, I take just, I take charge of finances, health, relationship, and inner self by bestow, bestowing, best, uh, bestowing values, by bestowing value to improve, improve, to improve other in their life. I take charge of my own life.
Dạ, cảm ơn anh. Chị Thanh ơi, chị Thanh đọc giúp em hả chị Thanh?
Dạ, share giúp mình. Cô share giúp Thanh được không? Thanh đang ở trong Phú Yên, đang online trên điện thoại.
Dạ, chị cứ đọc thôi, chị không cần share đâu chị.
Đọc tuyên bố đúng không?
Dạ, dạ.
Thanh tìm lại một xíu.
Em mới gửi lại vô nhóm đó chị.
Dạ. Mình xin lớp đọc. English mental statement. English mental statement. English mental statement. I am available person. I am available person. I am available person. Of retelling, transferring reality and creating value is what I do for a lifetime. Of retelling, transferring reality and creating value is what I do for a lifetime. Of retelling, transferring reality and creating value is what I do for a lifetime. Supporting others to achieve their lives aspirations, I elevate the realm of life. Supporting others to achieve their lives aspirations, I elevate the realm of life. Supporting others to achieve their life aspirations, I elevate the realm of life. Transcending inner cognition and wisdom capacity. I stand above emerging issues. Transcending inner cognitions and wisdom capacity. I stand above emerging issues. Transcending inner cognitions and wisdom capacity. I stand above emerging issues. Appreciation as feeling, exception as nature, accuracy as core. I protect myself and those around me. Appreciation is feeling, exceptions as nature, accuracy as core. I protect myself and those around me. Appreciation as feeling, exception as nature, accuracy as core. I protect myself and those around me. Perfecting inner personality, excelling in virtue, surpassing others in maturity. I conquer every dream. Perfecting inner personality, excelling in virtue, surpassing others in maturity. I conquer every dream. Perfecting inner personality, excelling in virtue, surpassing others in maturity. I conquer every dream. Having the right mindset, correct inner state, and cerebral abilities, I simply achieve success. Having the right mindset, correct inner state, and cerebral abilities, I simply achieve success. Having the right mindset, correct inner state, and cerebral abilities, I simply achieve success. Understanding the laws and principles thoroughly, holding the key firmly. I take control of my life. Understanding the laws and principles thoroughly, holding the key firmly. I take control of my life. Understanding the laws and principles thoroughly, holding the key firmly. I take control of my life. Adhering to principles, following formula and methods. My life becomes simpler, happier, trusting, and lighter. Adhering to principles, following formula and methods. My life becomes simpler, happier, trusting, and lighter. Adhering to principles, following formulas and methods. My life becomes simpler, happier, trusting, and lighter. Knowing, believing, comprehending the triangle of reality, human structure, and the rules formula. I take charge of finances, health, relationships, and inner self. Knowing, believing, comprehending the triangle of reality, human structure, and the rules formula. I take charge of financial, health, relationships, and inner self. Knowing, believing, comprehending the triangle of reality, human structure, and the rules formula. I take charge of finances, health, relationships, and inner self. By bestowing value to empower others in their life, I take charge of my own life. By bestowing value to empower others in their lives, I take charge of my own life. By bestowing value to empower others in their lives, I take charge of my own life. Dạ, biết ơn cô ạ. Cảm ơn cả nhà.
Dạ biết ơn chị. Để màn hình. Thế là mình học cặp âm tiếp theo là âm tờ với âm đờ. Âm tờ với âm đờ thì âm tờ nó là vô thanh, âm đờ là hữu thanh. Đầu lưỡi mình chạm chân núi lên trên bật xuống ha. Âm tờ thì bật nhanh, còn âm đờ thì nó đi, nó chạm xong nó ở lâu một chút rồi nó mới bật xuống ha. Âm tờ trước ha. Bên đây là âm đờ ha. Cả nhà mình có thể mở mic để mà làm cùng với em ha. Âm tờ. Giờ em sẽ mở thầy cho mình nghe, xong rồi sau đó mình bắt chước làm theo.
Cognate d. The unvoiced T, tongue front palatal stop consonant, cognate to the D. The same staccato springing action as the D drum beat, with no voice, forms the light tap of the T. Feel a gentle pulsation in the tongue. Now tap the drum beat T in these words. Wait, start, front, that, post.
Left, it, right, exhaust, at.
And tap the T in these sentences. Play it for full musical value, then to convey meaning.
Wait, start in front. Wait, start in front.
Take that post to the left. Take that post to the left.
It was right to exhaust many at once. It was right to exhaust many at once. D.
Cognate. T. T. Voiced tongue front palatal stop consonant. Play this D drum beat on the springing away of the tongue from the upper gum ridge. Feel a pulsation in the tongue. D. 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 Tap the drum beat D in these words. Stand, would, bed, red, head. Be sure you feel vocal cord vibration, lots of vibration in the tongue.
Inside, windshield, bird, hand, outside.
Tap the D in these sentences. Play it for full musical value. Stand by the wood bed. Stand by the wood bed.
She put her red head inside the windshield. She put her red head inside the windshield. A bird in hand is worth two outside. A bird in hand is worth two outside.
Dạ, em đọc trước sau đó mời cả nhà đọc ha. Wait, wait, wait. Start, start, start. Front, front, front. That, that, that. Post, post, post. Left, left, left. It, it. Right, right, right. Exhaust, exhaust. At. Wait, start, in front. Take that post to the left. It was right to exhaust many at once. It was right to exhaust many at once. Dạ, anh Tấn đọc giúp em ha.
Yeah. Wait. Start. Start. Front. That. Post. Left. It. Right. Exhaust. At. Wait. Start in front. Take that out to the left. It was right to exhaust many at once.
Dạ, biết ơn anh. Em mời chị Thanh.
Wait. Start. Front. That. Post. Left. It. eat, write, exhaust, est, with, start in front, Texas port to the left, eastward, right, to exhaust many at once. Texas port to the left, eastward, right, to exhaust many at once. Lại bên cô.
Dạ mình đi tiếp ha. Mình đi tiếp âm đờ ha. Nó có độ nén bật ha. D, 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 d. Nếu mà tiếng Việt nó là đờ 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 đúng không? Nhưng mà tiếng Anh nó sẽ có độ bật hơn ha. D, 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 d. Stand, stand, stand. Wood, wood, wood. Bat, bat, bat. Rat, rat, rat. Hat, hat, hat. Inside, inside, inside. Windshield, windshield, windshield. But, hand, hand, hand. Outside, outside, outside. Stand by the wood bat. She put her red hat inside the windshield. A bird in hand is worth to outside. Dạ anh Tấn đọc nha anh.
Yeah. Inside, wood, bed. Yeah. Inside, yeah. Inside, wood, bed, red, hat. Inside. Ủa, mình đọc đến đâu vậy? Stand. Inside. Windshield. Bed. Hand. Outside. Stand by the wood. Bed. She put her red hat inside the windshield. A bed in hand is what was to outside. Ui rồi ôi. Không phải đọc nối âm mà đọc cái từ âm nhiều quá.
Dạ biết ơn anh. Chị Thanh đọc với mẹ chị Thanh.
Dạ. Đang ở chỗ này máy bay nó đi qua to quá. Stand, wood, bed, red, hat, inside, Wi-Fi, windshield, bed, hand, outside, stand by the wood bed. She puts her red hat inside the windshield. A bed in hand is west to outside. Stand. Wood, bed. Red. Head. Inside. inside, inside, windshield, windshield, bed, 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 hand, 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 outside, 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 stand by the good bed, stand by the good bed, stand by the good bed. She put her red head inside the windshield. She put her red head inside the windshield. She put her red head inside the windshield. A bag in hand, it went to outside work. A bag in hand, it worked.
Bird hả chị? Cái này a bird. A bird.
A bird in hand, it was to outside. A bird in hand, it was to outside. A bird in hand, it was to outside. Biết ơn cô ạ.
Dạ. Ông Quốc học là cái này em học chưa Quốc hả? Chữ đờ này em có học chưa ta?
Hình như có đọc rồi đó, có đọc mà.
Em nhớ cách đọc không? Ý là em còn nhớ cách đọc. Đây để chị hỗ trợ lại nha. Cái này nó sẽ là cặp âm tờ với âm đờ. Cặp âm của mình sẽ là âm tờ với âm đờ. Thì âm tờ nó sẽ là vô thanh, âm đờ nó sẽ là hữu thanh. Âm tờ thì nó sẽ lướt nhanh hơn âm đờ. Thì nó là đầu lưỡi chạm chân nú răng trên hết, nhưng mà âm tờ nó sẽ lướt nhanh, còn âm đờ nó sẽ lâu hơn. Âm tờ ha. Còn ở đây là wait, 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 start, 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 front, 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 that, 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 post, 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 left, 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 it, right, 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 exhaust, 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 at, wait, start, in front, take that post to the left. It was right to exhaust many at once. Mời em đọc nha.
Wait, start, front, that, both, left, it, right, exhaust, at, it, when start in front, test the pole to the left. It was right to exhaust many at once.
Ok, hai tới âm đờ nha. Stand, stand, stand. Wood, wood, wood. That, that, that. Red, red, red. Hat, hat, hat. Inside, inside, inside. Windshield, windshield, windshield. Bird, bird, bird. Hand, hand, hand. Outside, outside, outside. Stand by the good bed. She put her red hat inside the windshield. A bird in hand. It was to outside. Rồi em đọc lại chữ đàm chị ha.
stand, 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 wood, 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 bed, 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 red, 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 hat, 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 insect, insect, insect,
Inside.
inside,
Inside.
inside, Winfield, 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 bird, 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 hand, 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 outside, 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 stand by the wood, stand by the wood, stand by the wood, bed, best. She puts her head inside the windshield. She puts her rest head inside the windshield. She put her rest head inside the windshield. The bag in hand is
A bird.
a bird in hand is pushed to outside. A bird in hand is pushed to outside.
Work.
A bird in hand is wood to outside.
Dạ biết ơn cả nhà. Hình như hôm trước cái vlog sức khỏe là mình chưa nghe đúng không? Cái vlog sức khỏe nghe trên Tính hả?
Nghe cái ông nói chậm, nói về sức khỏe đúng không ạ?
Nói cho anh.
Tuấn thấy gửi ở trên nhóm mà.
Em biết là phải gửi trên nhóm rồi nhưng ý là nghe chưa?
Nhớ là về ăn uống này, xong ông ấy tập quay Thái này,
Hả?
xong đồ ăn ở Việt Nam thì rẻ hơn, dễ kiếm hơn là đồ ăn ở châu Âu.
Ý là
Nghe lại thì cũng cảm
ý là nghe gọi đúng không? Là mình đã nói luôn chưa anh?
cũng có
Mình đã nói lại
theo.
mình nói đó thế. Mình nói lại cái đoạn đó chưa?
Rồi.
Mình có nói hả?
Vâng.
Có nói luôn rồi hả?
Vâng, còn nói chậm theo mỗi người một đoạn rồi.
Vậy mình nghe đoạn mới đi ha. Nói về việc đi du lịch nhưng mà du lịch của ổng trải nghiệm không được tốt lắm. Cái đợt đó ông đi du lịch xong ổng bị ông gặp cái ông gì đó bị tai nạn này kia. Chắc nó cũng không có được chắc là nghe cái khác đi, cái đó nó huân tập nó cũng không tốt lắm. Nói về ngày Tết cho anh. Anh như chưa đúng không? Chưa đúng không? Cái nói về ngày Tết cũng hay lắm.
And of course, we have to talk about lucky money. Now, this lucky money, it comes in red envelopes for good luck, and the bills are always in perfect condition and brand new. What's up, my friends? Chào các bạn, chào mừng các bạn quay trở lại với podcast Slow and Clear của What's Up English. Chúc mừng năm mới, everyone. Happy 2025 New Year. This is the first time I have done a podcast about Tet. I'm going to call it Tet or Lunar New Year. But yeah, the first time I've done a podcast about Lunar New Year. And for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Carter, and I created What's Up English. All right, so for this podcast, First, we're going to talk a bit about the history of Tet, and then we're going to move on to some Tet traditions. And then I will tell you some things about like what foreigners do on Tet. Like, have I been just alone in my room for the past 5 days? Am I starving? Do I have no more food? I will tell you guys everything. And remember, as always, every podcast that I make comes with a free PDF that includes all of the words related to the topic, like the word list, and it comes with a transcript with everything that I said in this podcast. All you have to do is click the link in the description, put in your email, and then I will send it to you completely for free. So before we start talking about Tet, I have to say, for my viewers who have watched me for a long time no see, I'm very, very sorry for disappearing for like 5 months. It's been quite a long time. I want to apologize for that. I just disappeared for 5 months, but I promise there is a good reason for it. Or should I say a few reasons for that. One of those reasons is because I've been focusing a lot on my online university. Another reason is because my brother came to Vietnam to visit me for about 3 weeks. When we went to Ha Giang, we did a lot of really cool things. And I'll actually tell you guys all about that in another video. But also, I'd say the biggest reason why I haven't uploaded is because I've been working on a huge project. And that project is a step-by-step system to help you guys go from not being able to speak English to speaking English. And one of the first steps towards speaking English is learning pronunciation. And that's why the first course I created in this step-by-step system is the complete American English pronunciation course. This course is perfect for those of you who can understand my podcast, but who struggle to speak English, or for those of you who can speak some English, but you want to improve your accent or your pronunciation. Because in this course, you'll learn every sound in the IPA, so you'll be able to look up any word in the dictionary and pronounce it perfectly, but it's also full of examples like words and phrases and sentences that you can practice that are actually useful in daily life. I designed it specifically for Vietnamese people like you, where we go over some tricky sounds like the dark L, like in full or world, and ending sounds like the ending S, ER, all that stuff. And to top it off, you'll get a free shadowing course as a bonus where you can shadow my slow and clear speech. It's actually not too slow, but you can slow it down in the video player where I talk about topics on daily life like work, school, all of that stuff. So if you're interested in that course, then click the link in the description. There's a big sale going on for Tet right now, and that sale will last for 2 weeks after this video is posted. After the 2 weeks, the price will go up, and this is a real sale. It's not a fake sale that goes on forever. No, the price will actually go up after 2 weeks. So if this course is interesting to you, then just click the link in the description below. And yeah, I would really appreciate your support. For What's Up English, I'm trying to build a real business because this is my full-time job. So I want to give you guys something that is very useful for you, a guided system where you can learn step by step, and the value is really high and the quality is really high. All right, so let's get on with the podcast. First, I'm going to tell you guys about a personal story of mine for Tet, which is I've been in Vietnam for quite a few years, I'd say almost 9 years. Most of the Tet holidays that I've had, I have pretty much stayed at home. There were a few times that I traveled, but I'll tell you about the one during COVID. And this one was the worst and the best because, well, COVID was happening, so people were not able to go out, and Tet holiday came. At that time, people couldn't really go anywhere. They were stuck at home. I was lucky that my landlords gave me a ton of noodles, and I got a lot of chung cakes. And so I stayed at home for about 5 days, and every day I ate fried chung cake and noodles, only pretty much those two things. I was too lazy to go anywhere. I was working on some work of mine. And yeah, I would wake up, slice the chung cake, fry it, eat it. It's chung cake, so you're full for like 4 or 5 hours. And I ate that every day for 4 or 5 days. I remember near the end of the 4 or 5 days eating chung cake every day, I started to really get tired of it. But yeah, so that, and I'm saying that was the best and the worst Tet because it was really nice to actually just stay home for those few days, guilt-free, because we weren't really allowed to go outside. So I just stayed home, did some work, played video games, and it was quite nice because I'm a pretty introverted person. And so yeah, it wasn't too difficult to stay home. I'm sure many of you can understand that. But it was also the worst because it was hard to get anything else to eat other than noodles and chung cake. But like I said, I was very lucky that my landlords got those for me. So that was my personal story about Tet. I know it's not too amazing, but let's move on to the history and the meaning of Tet. I think talking about these will help you explain to your friends or whoever you talk to about Vietnamese Lunar New Year to them in English. So firstly, Tet, which is called Lunar New Year in English, it marks the end of winter and the beginning of spring. So it marks the changing of seasons, going from one season to another. And it's based on the lunar calendar. And since it's based on the lunar calendar, the date of Tet changes each year because it follows the cycles of the moon. So the actual meaning of Tet was it used to be for the agricultural festival, but now it's more about fresh starts and families getting together and celebrating. But before, it had more to do with farming and the changing of the seasons. So how do people prepare for Tet? One tradition is that you don't clean during Tet. You have to clean before Tet. By the way, please correct me if I'm wrong on any of these things. Throw it in the comments. If something is wrong, please correct me. But people clean before Tet because the dust around your house and the dirt, whatever, it represents the bad luck from the last year. And you shouldn't clean during Tet because it symbolizes sweeping away the new fortune, the new luck, the new wealth. All right, so that's an interesting one. You can't clean during Tet. You have to clean before Tet. So for food, one of the main foods, of course, is chung cake. And the way that they wrap the chung cake are in these things called zong leaves. What's interesting about these leaves is that they're naturally antibacterial. So they're a good way to naturally preserve the chung cake. And if you're wondering if in the West, do we have our own type of chung cake? I suppose for Christmas, it would be like fruit cake. I've never really eaten fruit cake, but for many families, it is quite popular. One interesting thing is that one of the reasons why they made chung cake and it's wrapped in those leaves is because the markets would be closed for a long time. So with these chung cakes, you would have food to last a few weeks while everything was closed. Now, there are two types of chung cake. There is the chung cake in the north, which is square, and then there's bang tet in the south. And I don't know, I suppose we call it tet cake, but it's round and it's wrapped in a banana leaf instead of the zong leaf. Zong leaf, I'm not sure what that is in English. Let me look it up real quick. Oh man, maybe just call it dong leaves because the real word for that is Stachypherinium placentarium. Yeah, stick to zong leaves. So anyway, one thing that's common between them is they both have to be boiled for a long time. Apart from bang chung, apart from chung cake, people also eat candied fruits. You don't really need to say dried candied fruits because I found the most common word for these were just candied fruits. These fruits can be things like ginger, coconut, winter melon, lotus seeds. Personally, I like the coconut one the most because it's a little bit crunchy. Okay, so moving on to more Tet traditions. During Tet, you'll see a lot of peach blossoms, a lot of cherry blossoms, and a lot of kumquat trees. And the funny thing about these kumquat trees is you'll be driving on the road and then you'll see a bump in the road and just a bunch of kumquats because everyone who was driving past there with the kumquat tree hit the bump and then the kumquats fell off. So that's kind of funny. Now we'll talk about some more traditions. And the big one is the first day visitor. So apparently, to choose the right person to be the first one to step foot in your house, they should be born in a zodiacal year that is compatible with the homeowner. They should be a person who is successful, happy, and pretty good with their money. And there are some combinations with the birth year, with the zodiac symbol that you should avoid. Like if the homeowner is one zodiac symbol, then there are some combinations with another zodiac symbol that you should totally avoid. So now people will pre-plan or pre-book the person who steps foot in their house first. And this is taken so seriously that some people will even hide at home and not go out so they're not accidentally the first person to step in somebody else's house. And during Tet, from what I've heard, people wouldn't used to travel much, but these days, a lot of younger people and just normal people are traveling more and more during Tet. A lot of young people also play some card games. So there are 3 main games, so I've heard. I have not played any of them. So you could say young people often play some card games. And of course, we have to talk about lucky money. Now, this lucky money, it comes in red envelopes for good luck. And the bills are always in perfect condition and brand new. So the bills are perfect. You can give these bills to whoever you want, especially if they're older or younger than you. And now some banks even give digital lucky money. So you can gift someone lucky money just through the app. In my opinion, it's not really the same. You might as well just bank transfer them money. But yeah, it's an interesting way to keep a tradition alive in the modern times. And during Tet, there shouldn't be any arguing or crying. If you want to comment why that is below, please let me know. Like, what does that mean? And why are you not allowed to argue or cry? I assume it will bring bad luck or it will attract bad spirits. And it's also not good to borrow money or ask for money from people who owe you money during Tet. So you shouldn't try to get people to pay their debt to you if they owe you money. All right, so let's move on to the last part of the podcast, which is what is Tet like for foreigners in Vietnam? So if the foreigner has a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a spouse, then they will often go with them on a trip or to their hometown. Well, assuming the boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse is a Vietnamese person. Now, since many cities in Vietnam, I guess pretty much all of them, turned into ghost towns during Tet, because of that, a lot of foreigners will decide to travel for Tet. For example, one year I went to Thailand, another year I went to Malaysia, and when you come back, then things are pretty much back to normal. But the funny thing that happens with a lot of foreigners is when it's their first Tet in Vietnam, their first Lunar New Year, and they don't expect it to become a ghost town, and then they don't know what to do. Like, everywhere's closed. How do I get food? How do I survive? And then it becomes pretty much a survival challenge for about a week. And so yeah, that can be kind of funny. So yeah, I think that covers a lot of the main things about Tet. If I missed anything, feel free to comment down below. I hope this will help you to talk about Tet to your friends, family, coworkers, whatever. Probably not your family because you'll speak Vietnamese to your family, but to anyone who speaks English. And guys, again, I'm sorry for disappearing for 5 months. I'm really sorry about that. Uploads will be consistent again once this course is uploaded. Make sure to check out the course in the description below. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Tet. Have a great holiday, and I will see you in the next video. See you later. Happy New Year.
Tốt nhất là mỗi một cái video gì này về nhà cái nhà mình đọc cỡ 3 lần á là ngon á. 3 lần là mình sẽ nắm tương đối cái video này. Dạ, anh Tuấn đọc trước giúp em ha. Mở mic anh này.
Đây. Bắt đầu rồi ạ?
Dạ, bắt đầu đó.
And the beer are always in perfect condition and brand new. What's up, my friends? Postcard slow and clear của What's up English. Chúc mừng năm mới. Happy New Year. Happy 2025 New Year. This is the first time I have done a podcast about Tet. I'm going to call in Tet for Lunar New Year's. But yeah, the first time I have done a postcard about Lunar New Year. And for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Carter, and I create What's Up English. All right. So for this podcast, first we are going to talk a bit about the history of Tet, and then we are going to move on some Tet traditions, and then I will tell you some things about like the foreigners do on Tet. Like I been just alone in my room for the past time I starting? Do I have no more food? I will tell you guys everything, and remember, as always, every postcard that I made come with a free PDF that includes some of the words related to the topic, like the words list, and it comes with a transcript with everything that I said in this podcast. All you have to do is click the link in the description, put in your email, and then I will send it to you completely for free. So before we start talking about it, I have to say for my views who have watched me long time no see. I'm very sorry to disappearing for like 5 months. It's been quite a long time. I want to apologize for what I just disappeared for 5 months, but I promise this is a good reason for it. Or should I say a few reasons of that? One of the reason is because I've been focusing a lot on my online university. Another reason is because my brother come to Vietnam to visit me for about 3 weeks. When I went to Hà Giang, we did a lot of really cool things, and I actually tell you guys all about that in another video. But also I say the biggest reason why I have to because is because I've been working on a Hawks project, and that project is a step-by-step system to help you guys go from not being able to speak English to speak English to speak English to speaking
Dạ biết
English.
ơn anh. Chị mời Quốc nha.
And one of the first steps to work, speak English is learn pronunciation. And that's why the first course I created. This team step-by-step system is the Complex American English Pronunciation course. The course is perfect for those of you who can understand my postcards, but who trust to speak English, or for those of you one who can speak some English, but you want to improve your accent or your pronunciation. Because in this course, I'll learn English sound in the APA. So we'll be able to look at and pronounce it perfectly. But it's also full of exams like word and phrase and sentences that you can practice. That's actually useful in daily life. I decided the best goal for Vietnamese people like you. When you go over some tricks, some like the track L, like full of work, and any sound like the N, S, on, that stop. And to stop up will get a free shadow course as a bonus, where you can shadow my flow and clear speech. And actually, it's not slow. But you can slow down in the video player, where I talk about topic on daily life, like work, school, work, and so if you interested in that course, then click the link in the description. There is a big sale ongoing for a test right now, and that sale will be for 2 weeks after this video is bought. After 2 weeks, the price will go up. It is the real price and not fake sale. No, the price will actually go up after 2 weeks. So if the course is interesting to you, then just click the link in the description below. And yeah, I was really expecting your support request and workshop English. I try to build a real business because it's my full-time job. So I want to give you guys something that is very useful for you. a guide system where you can learn step by step, and the value is really high, and the quality is really high. All right, let's get on with the podcast. First, I'm going to tell you guys about a personal story of my first study, which is I've been in Vietnam for quite a few years. I say most 9 years. Most the this holiday is very that's ahead, and I really must stay at home. There were times that I travel, but I tell you about the one during COVID, and this one the worst and the best this holiday, because well COVID has happening, so people were not able to go out, and this holiday came. At that time, people couldn't really go anywhere. They were stuck at home. I was lucky that my landlord gave me a corn noodle, and I got a lot chưng cake. So I stay at home for about 5 days, and every day I ate fried chưng cake and noodles. Only reaching us those two things. I was too lazy to go anywhere. I had working on some work of mine. Oh yeah, I would wake up, slide the chưng cake, fry it, it's so chưng cake, so your phone like 2 hour, and I ate it. That's every day. For I remember near the what the end, the 4 or 5.
Ủa, còn câu đó mà sao không đọc luôn đi, bắt mất rồi.
I started to really get tired of it.
Rồi, cảm ơn em. Chị Thanh ơi, chị Thanh có thuận lợi đọc không chị Thanh?
Dạ, anh đọc ạ, đang ngắm bình minh rồi cô.
Dạ.
But yeah, so that's I am. And the worst is because it was really nice to actually just stay home for the few days. Guy free because weren't really alone. I just stayed home, did homework, played video games, and it was quite nice because I'm pretty introverted home. So yeah, I wasn't. I'm sure many you can, but it also the worst because it was hard to get other than noodle and chunky. But I said, I was very lucky that my landlord got. So that's were my personal story about taste. You know, it's not. But let's move on the history and the meaning of taste. I think thinking about this will help you explain to your friends or whoever you talk to about Vietnamese Lunar New Year to them in English. Safari Test Week. It called Lunar New Year in English. It marks the end of winter and the beginning of spring. So it marks the track of season going from one season to another. And it's based on the lunar calendar. And since it's based on the lunar calendar, the days of test change each year. Because it follows the cycle of the moon, so the actual meaning were used to be for the agricultural festival, but now it's more about red cars and families getting together and celebrating. But before, it had more to do with farming and the chance of the season. So how do people prepare for taste? One tradition is that you don't clean during taste. You have to clean before taste. By the way, please correct me if I'm wrong. A true is in. If something is wrong, please correct me. But people clean before taste because the dust around the house and the dust and whatever. It represents the backlash, and you shouldn't clean during test because it symbolizes whipping away the new fortune, the new luck, the new wealth. All right, so that interesting one. You can't clean bad. You can't clean. You have to clean before test. So for foods, one of the main foods, of course, is chưng cake. And this way they grab the chưng cake as this thing called đồng lip, dòng lip. That's a nature antibacterial. So they are good way to naturally preserve. And if you're wondering if in West do have one type of chưng cake, I support for Christmas it would be fruit cake. I've never really eaten fruit cake, but for many families it's quite popular. One interesting thing is that one of reasons why they make chưng cake and it's wrapped in the leaf is because the market would be closed for a long time. So with this chưng cake, you could have fruit to a few weeks while everything was closed. No, there are two types of chưng cake. The chưng cake is not weak, is square. And then their bánh test in the south. And I don't know, I support we corn is that quick, but it's round and it's warped in banana leaf stain of zong lab. I'm not sure what. Let me look at our map. Maybe that corn is zong lab because the real word for that is Stasibrasium blessing. Yes, a stick to a zong lab. So anyway, one thing that's common between is the birds have to be avoided. Apart from chưng cake, people also eat candied fruits. You don't really need to study right candy fruits because I found the most common words for this were candies. These fruits can be things like ginger, coconut, wintermelon, lotuses. Personally, I like the corner one the most because it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so move on the more traditions. During Tết, you'll see a lot of peach blossom, a lot of cherry blossom, and a lot of kumquat trees. And the funny thing about this kumquat tree, you're riding on the road, and then you see boom in the road, and the boom of kumquat, because everyone who driving past this, the with kumquat tree, hits the boom, and then the kumquat fell up. So that kind of funny. No, we'll talk about some. Big one is for first day visitor. So apparently teacher is the right person to be the first one to step first in the house. They should be born in zodiac year. That a compatible with him. They should be a person who is success, happy, and pretty good with their money. And there are some combinations with the birth year. With the zodiac symbol, that you see zodiac symbol. Like there are some combination with another zodiac symbol that you should. So now people will pre-plan or pre-book. The person who steps foot in their house first, and this is taken so seriously that some people will even hide at home and not go out. So they are not accidentally the first person to step in somebody else. And during that from that I ever had, people wouldn't year to travel much. But this day a lot of younger people and just normal people are traveling more and more during test.
Dạ biết ơn cả nhà. Cả nhà
Dạ.
về nhà mình tranh thủ làm bài tập giúp em ha.
Dạ, cảm ơn cô, chào cả nhà.